Preview.
The importance of buoyancy control. Never ignore this safety cornerstone. By Marty McCafferty and Eric Douglas. Controlling buoyancy is a key component to diving safety. The physics of floating and sinking are simple concepts, but achieving them practically actually requires significant skill. Each change in equipment affects buoyancy. As your dive equipment grows more complex, so attention to buoyancy is also increased. Given its role as a fundamental element of diving enjoyment and safety, it's no wonder that problems with buoyancy are often the underlying cause of injuries and even fatalities. Divers with proper buoyancy control can maintain their position with little effort. They can descend or ascend at will. In contrast, divers with poor buoyancy control skills struggle throughout their dives. And, in extreme situations, major buoyancy control issues can cause divers to make grave errors, such as descending well beyond their planned depth or ascending too quickly. There is no doubt that buoyancy control affects many aspects of diving safety. Experts in dive training, diving medicine and research know how important it is to maintain good buoyancy skills. It starts with proper weighting. It's important that the right amount of weight is chosen so that you are able to descend but not do so too rapidly. The placement of weight also makes a big difference. The classic buoyancy control device is a weight belt. Rental gear can complicate the process, especially for novice divers. Each change in configuration, responsiveness and other variables affect divers' comfort and buoyancy. Diving with a dry suit, a weight harness or a rebreather also adds to complexity of buoyancy. The buoyancy compensating device is the most complex piece of scuba equipment that the diver needs to master. Divers have to understand a BC inside and out. It requires proper maintenance, and sticking buttons can cause disasters. A malfunctioning buoyancy control device can lead to an uncontrolled ascent or descent and can cause significant injuries. Like any other piece of equipment, it requires proper maintenance. But lack of maintenance is not the only concern. Operator error can also cause loss of control. Inappropriately adding buoyancy or dumping air can result in a significant disruption of buoyancy. Hitting the inflator button instead of the vent button can cause a rapid and unplanned descent. Every diver needs to familiarize themselves with their equipment as well as that of their buddies. In an emergency, there may not be time to search for the right buttons. Many would not necessarily relate buoyancy skills to diving medicine, but there is a connection. The most common diving injury is middle ear barotrauma, and that to a large extent is a buoyancy control issue. Divers need to be taught that during their descent they need to pay attention to their ears and resolve any discomfort by equalizing. It gets harder to equalize the deeper you go, and it doesn't get easier if you try and force it. So, when experiencing a block, divers should ascend, and if experiencing a reverse block, divers might need to delay their ascent. Many marine life injuries also occur as a result of buoyancy control problems. Plummeting down on a stingray is a classic example. Buoyancy skills therefore also protect divers from the environment. Finally, one of the most serious consequences of inadequate buoyancy control is a rapid ascent. This can result in a lung overexpansion injury or pulmonary barotrauma, which can precipitate arterial gas embolism, one of the most deadly conditions in diving. So buoyancy control is not an optional extra, it is an essential skill. When researching diving accident reports, DAN researchers looked for triggers and contributing factors and found that buoyancy problems were most reported when there was a running out of air emergency, with rapid ascent being the most common cause of injury. Running out of air and naked rapid ascents are obvious causes of injuries and fatalities, but buoyancy problems are sometimes the less obvious underlying factor. Exceeding planned dive depths also increases decompression stress and may place divers in situations where they consume more gas than they planned. Therefore, they could run out of gas or air more quickly. The result of this is then a rapid ascent. Adequate buoyancy control is an essential element of proper gas management, and controlling gas is only one part of this. Fewer adjustments to buoyancy also reduces air consumption, as does the reduced effort that comes with being more streamlined. Any reduction in effort at depth reduces the risk of decompression illness as well, and so good buoyancy control goes a long way towards achieving that goal. Another danger in reaching unexpected deeper depths is nitrogen narcosis. The intoxicating effect can impair judgment and performance as well as reasoning and create a sense of euphoria or fear. The potential for danger therefore increases, especially when nitrogen narcosis is unexpected. So, keep it going. Mastery and maintenance of buoyancy control is a journey that never ends. It becomes second nature in a while, but it takes a while to get there. And gear configuration affects buoyancy and can create struggles that could be avoided with just paying a little more attention and time. Work through buoyancy issues before they become problems, emergencies, or even fatalities, and take advantage of workshops and buoyancy clinics that are offered by dive professionals. Get refresher training whenever you've been away from diving for a period of time. It's worth the investment of time, money, and your health.